Good evening. There was a real buzz around this famous old arena this morning because day 12 at the Betfred World Snooker Championship saw us complete 4 fascinating quarter-finals, and we had a real blend of first-timers against the experienced old hands. Dave Gilbert produced one of the shocks of the day against Kyron Wilson. 10-6 up overnight, he sealed one of the biggest wins of his career over last year's semi-finalist with 12 breaks over 55, including 2 centuries. His emotional run goes on. No doubt the Tamworth fan club in his local pub will be preparing to book their coach tickets to Sheffield. The former potato farmer feels endearingly shocked at what he's achieved so far.
It feels great. A lot of down moments, not many ups, but this is certainly the biggest moment of my snooker career. It's the second session. I felt so good. I played really well. That gives you a lot of confidence when you can do that and feel so comfortable in the Crucible arena. It can be. I've had it the other way where you're not felt so good out there, and it's not very nice. Oh, it feels great. So it's all I could think about last night before I was going to bed. If I can win tomorrow, I get the dream of walking out on that one-table setup. It's certainly something I never thought was ever achievable or possible. So I'm either going to be playing Neil or John out there. 2 legends have already won this. It'll be a great experience, whatever happens.
2-time finalist Ali Carter had his work cut out against another first-time quarter-finalist, Gary Wilson. The Tyneside Terror looked relaxed against Selby in the second round, and that comfort continued against the captain. 9-7 up overnight. He was not to be denied a huge win on the biggest stage, also the biggest payday of his career, £100,000.
To get down to the semis and play in the one table in the arena all to ourselves, it's absolutely amazing. Confidence was coming in sort of patches. When I'd play a couple of good frames with a couple of good breaks, I'd think, right, my cueing's there a little bit more, great, and then I'd miss a couple another frame and I'd be like, I'm hitting that badly again, and it just swings and roundabouts, especially in such a long game as well. So just over the moon to get through it. Yeah, I'm not striking the ball as nicely as I would like to, and I know deep down if that comes at some point, I can be a handful. If I've got the confidence and that's there as well. But I'm relying a little bit on my opponent, and I'm relying a little bit on a couple of little good bits of fortune, I think. But I know my scoring's there. If I get chances, I generally feel confident. Even half chances, if I can just play in and around the black and little cannons and things, I feel confident. So yeah, just going with the flow and see what happens.
Well, Judd Trump raced out of the blocks against Scotland's Stephen Maguire, and from 6-0 up, he was never threatened. Maguire briefly stemmed the tide. From 9-1, he then moved to 11-5 down, at least forcing a third session. But Trump is back in the semi-finals for the first time in 4 years. He looks poised and ready to mount a big challenge. Disappointment for Maguire. Trump marches on. He is looking good value here in 2019.
Over the moon to get back to the semi-final. It's been a few years since I last got there. I had a tough loss to John Higgins in the quarterfinals last year, so very, very happy to sort of be back in the last 4, especially first games were very, very tough against Ding and Tepchai. I could have gone out to either of those opponents, so very happy to be in the last 4. I think obviously been there a few times before. Gary's first time here, so it's all new to him, but I think he's just out there enjoying himself at the moment. He's not really feeling pressure, and it's important for me to sort of try and do what I did against Stephen and get off to a good start and put him under pressure and just use my experience out there.
And so to the evening's epic encounter between the only two world champions still in the draw, John Higgins against Neil Robertson. Higgins recovered brilliantly from 4-2 down in the first session to lead 9-7 at the end of the second. They shared the first two frames of the evening session, so Higgins leading 10-8. As we pick it up in the 19th, Robertson's at the table, no score. Your commentary from John Virgo and Steve Davis.
He's taking this one on. So he did leave a pot on there, did John Higgins. But he's been rewarded by that attacking safety, by having a choice of reds, one to the left middle, it's unmissable. Just a slight problem with position, but only a slight problem. One to the right corner. You'd have to put a lot of work on the cue ball, so this could be a key shot if he can pot this and get position on the black. Needs to miss this red and bounce. Did neither.
Oh, this is going to take some working out from John's perspective. Now what? I mean, first problem, hit a colour, otherwise it's a miss. Hit a colour, get it all safe.
Sorry? Brown ball.
Well, he's nominated brown. He's just got to hope he hits it and leaves the cue ball near the baulk cushion just to make it difficult.
John Higgins won.
Well, he could have made it much more difficult. He's left the red on. But you've got to do a bit with the cue ball.
He's played that hoping that that would be the outcome, because this is no certainty from the positional aspect.
One.
Well, does the pink go to the corner? It does. So Neil Robertson will be pleased to see that.
Yes, sure.
Neil feels like he got a fast bounce there.
7.
There's been some talk, John. Players playing with different types of chalk. Neil not happy with the chalk that John Higgins is playing with. He thinks that that sticks to the ball a bit too much.
Eight.
Yes, Neil using the new chalk, which apparently doesn't powder on the table the same as the chalk that John Higgins is using.
$13. $14.
It's a good response by Neil Robertson. Been frozen out for quite some time in this match. John's just started to get a bit of a strut on around the table, isn't he?
17.
Yeah, not the easiest of opportunities, of course. Keep having to go back up for blue or
18.
bought colour. Maybe decide to play a little cannon on the 3 reds in the middle of the table, just to give him more reds to play for when he's going back up for the blue. The problem is with the black, if he ever played for the black the way it is at the moment, he'd get tied up with those 2 reds. So deciding to play the cannon, nothing wrong with that.
$23. $24.
Once again found the right angle on the blue. He's looking to see that if that red that's probably on the black spot is available. That's the one he's played for. Now if he was straighter on it, he could roll this in and play for the black. I'm not certain he'd
29.
want to play from the black. For the black, the angle he will have on it. So back up for the blue.
30.
This time, it's gone slightly awry.
He can play position for the red in the left corner. Not perfect.
35.
You can miss it from that angle. He really wanted to line up straight, so overhit it a bit.
$36.
Straight on the pink isn't much good to him. You think the green would give him a better chance of position for that red just above the black. If you could get on that, then that could give him an opportunity to win the frame at this visit. He's having to work very hard. As I say, straight on the pink, I don't see what value that is. I'd be playing the green. Green it was, coming round off 2 cushions, a lovely line. What about the length? It's absolutely, it's perfect. It's perfect. Just one more problem to deal with. He's having a look if he potted the black wood, one of those 2, well, the left hand of those 2 reds. If not, he'll have to maybe risk the cannon, screw back and cannon the red. But he feels, so must feel, that the one nearest the top cushion he can get to just by rolling the black in.
Slight
47.
cut back.
Played it
48.
nicely as well. So this to go 54 points in front with 67 remaining. And once he pots this red, there'll only be 59 remaining, so this red and the black
55.
to get to snooker's required.
56.
And I have to say, Steve, he's taken these well.
Yeah, very good effort. He lost his rhythm
63.
a bit earlier on. He's regained it now.
64.
Makes such a difference. It makes the game a lot easier if you can just play an autopilot. But that's the tough thing about
71.
playing match snooker against the likes of John Higgins. It's tough sometimes to get that freedom.
72.
Job done winning the frame. It's just whether there's another century break to be made. Century breaks going to
77.
smash the record at the Crucible this year.
78.
'79 century breaks so far. The record 86. Will we get to 100?
I think that's asking a lot. Well, I keep saying 86 has been going to get beat. I've been saying that for the last 6 years and it's not happened. But I'll tell you what, you won't see many better century breaks than this
80.
if it does get there in the end. He's had to show a
81.
lot of patience and some wonderful positional shots. This has been marvellous stuff from Neil Robertson. Just when he needs to find his
87.
best form, this will really give him a boost. This has been
89.
wonderful. And that positional shot from the green to the red just above the black, well, that just about sums it up. Exquisite.
92. '96.
Blue for the century. Well, that was absolutely fantastic.
101.
Fantastic. What a break this has been. When you consider the
107.
pink was on the brown spot, and look at the way he had to go all around the table and finish off with a marvellous break of 114. John Higgins is going to go to the dressing room just to throw a bit of water on his face. He'll sit there and enjoy the moment. That was fantastic. And he's now back within one frame of John Higgins. One more to play before the mid-session interval. It's 10-9.
What a superb century from Neil Robertson, the 80th of the tournament so far. Back to within one then, as we join it in the 20th. Robertson is at the table once again, leading by 1.
Knocking one towards the corner, and I don't think the yellow's going to come to Neil's rescue. It hasn't, and there's just enough angle here to come round off 2 cushions to be naturally on the black. This could be a frame winner. Played it well. Perfect on the black. Frame winning chance. Cute, this lovely. Well, just let the cue ball run loose a little bit.
8.
But what a chance now to keep that 2-frame advantage at the mid-session interval.
9.
Nicely on the red to the middle.
16.
If he's just off straight, he may elect here to play for the pink rather than the black. The pink just keeps him close to reds in the middle of the table.
17.
And maybe just potting the pink, just stunning it in, may leave him on a red to the right corner. Just looking to see where the pink goes. He'd like to have been a little bit closer to the pink than this, but you wouldn't imagine it would cause a problem. Now solid. Maybe just let that cue ball run through a little bit more than he should have done. Just looking for another 17
23.
points. So he needs 3 of these 4 reds to get to snooker's required.
Yeah, sure.
He's got to be a bit careful with his positional shot. He's just looking at the angle he's going to hit the red below the pink on with top spin. Can he run the white ball through, clear it from that area? Bit of separation he needs here from the pink. Oh, hit the pink. Didn't think he'd be doing that. I thought he could get past the
24.
red.
Yeah, maybe if he played it a bit
Yeah, harder.
more delicate
yeah.
or something.
More delicate or harder, one way or the other. But so this is a missable black.
Yeah, the only thing is he'll play it dead weight, so he doesn't go in it and block the pocket.
Good
But
shot.
it's there. Good shot.
He's missed a
31.
couple of these at this angle. To the left jaw as we look behind the pocket.
There you see it, 30 ahead. So red cover red, still needed.
$32.
Well, he could not have judged the kiss off the second red any better. Great break in the last frame. Had a chance in this one, but couldn't make the most of it. And now this red, a little bit thinner than he would like.
39.
But John knows this red took a 39 points in front. Just 35 remaining.
Quarter.
Well, it's a thin cut on the brown. Neil Robertson needs snookers. But what's John Higgins going to do?
Yeah, at the moment, Neil Robertson needs one 4-point snooker to tie. If John just rolled to the brown, then you get the snooker behind the yellow, but you don't really want to put balls in positions where they're going to be easy to snooker behind.
John Higgins, 40.
So that's why he didn't want to put the brown near the blue. Just made it such a big target.
Well, Higgins took that one to re-establish a 2-frame cushion. Robertson responded with the next for 11-10. And as we join it in frame 22, Higgins is at the table, trailing 26-9.
One.
And potting that red makes those 2 reds in the middle of the table nicely available. He was going down and play the green, then he's thinking, well, the green's going to go on the pink spot, if it's available. And played a cannon and missed it. And it wasn't a difficult one.
No, it wasn't.
4.
He's got 2 other possible reds. both of them a more difficult shot than he would have expected.
Five.
Floated it in, got a little flick on that red, which has destroyed perfect position. It's just another shot to float the black in again. Not too hard. No. Yes. Oh, it was close. I thought for a split second.
I was with you. I thought it was going to catch a near jaw.
Just held its line, didn't it?
12.
Thought it was diving in there.
$13.
This black to go 3 points in front.
Not marvellous, but you'll settle for it.
Yeah, the way the players
20.
have been potting the reds along the top cushion, I'm a little bit surprised you didn't play for it. He's
21.
underhit this. Okay, he's just come away from the cushion. He's got a choice of pink or brown, but he was a bit tentative on that.
Excellent shot. Bit unlucky not to have anything easier, but is it lined up?
27.
Yeah, I was going to say, at first look, it looked as though it'd gone wrong, but if this red is straight to the far left corner, it's not as bad as I thought.
No, and he's got to be careful, obviously, of the double hit, but it's not much of a judgment shot. Expect him to... Oh, just pushed a bit. He's missed it. Just pushed it a bit.
John Higgins, 27.
Well, reprieve for Neil Robertson. He's getting tense out there. Bit of bounce on the cue ball.
This red to the left of the green will cut to the right corner.
Yeah, that wasn't a good safety. Oh, he's just going to get away with this.
Oh, it just crept by the pink. Hit it much too thick.
This is not nice.
Looks like he's coming off the top cushion first just to nestle on this red. He thinks if he nestles on the red, he won't leave anything. But he also doesn't gain any advantage. Okay, the red just below the black and to the right of it is potable, but Neil thought it'd be too risky for John Higgins to play. John agrees. Trying to cover the open red that's available to the right corner with the brown, and I think he succeeded in doing that. Yes, he's done it. So he's definitely got the upper hand in this safety exchange as John Higgins. And even with a slender 10-point lead, you feel if John can get the next chance, the frame's at his mercy. he gets the next chance.
Another flyer off the baulk cushion. That looked for all the world like it was going behind the brown until it squared up.
One.
Good straight cueing. Knew he'd be tight to the cushion playing this red. So this black is no gimme. He's potted it. Can he get past the green? I'm looking at his body language.
8.
I think he can.
A fantastic black.
Nine.
Where does he get it from, Steve?
Such a great competitor. He's had an awful season. He's dug deep. Trademark nervous shaking of the head. He always shook a bit, John, when he played
16.
shots, but the ball's going exactly where he wants them to.
Didn't risk trying
17.
to bring the red into play off that red, but he's going to need the red. This black will put him 34 points in front, but there's still 35 remaining. Misses the red, he's perfect. What a wonderful shot that is. Absolutely to the inch.
24.
And Neil Robertson, who's staring defeat in the face because John Higgins now, for all money, just needs one more for a place in the semi-final.
What a fantastic black that was off the side cushion.
32.
.42 points in front, John Higgins.
Higgins, 32.
Don't think Neil Robertson will come back to the table.
He's thinking about it,
And
but
the
no, the nod of concession comes. So John Higgins, as Steve said, when he potted the red, he was tight on the cushion. Big black, he potted it, and now he's one away from a place in the semi-final. He leads Neil Robertson by 12 frames to 10. Electric atmosphere here at the Crucible, which only the Crucible can produce. Neil Robertson really back against the wall. But we know he's got that Aussie grit. He won't be giving up.
Sort of tried a shot that wasn't on there. Had to play it pretty thin to miss the black. And then the other red was a goalkeeper. If he'd have potted the red, he'd have probably collided with the black. So a chance here for Neil Robertson. An early one as well.
Yeah, there's two reds just above the black. The left-hand one will go, but the right-hand one won't go. So he's having to play this thin cut. Can he avoid the kiss on the black? He could. Now where's the cue ball going to be? Is he going to be on the green to the middle?
1.
Just about. Good shot, struck it well.
4. 5.
As I say, those two reds above the black, the left-hand one, as we look, the one immediately above the black is available if he doesn't want to go into the bunch of reds. Needs to run down a little bit further. He's on it. Good shot.
10.
Straighter would have been perfect. So just have to judge the kiss off the second red here.
11.
And he did. Nicely on the black. And now this red available. Thinking of the pink now. He played for the black, but if the pink offers him better position, why not play it? He was looking to see where the pink would go when it's respotted.
Give me a second, Neil, please.
The fact that the referee's asked Neil to give him a second tells me that the pink spot is not available, so I'll have to nestle into the cluster as close to its own spot as it can go in a direct line with the middle of the top cushion. He'll get it as close as he can. It can't be touching, and then he'll come round and just check it's in a direct line.
17.
Well, he's already done that.
18.
So the only loose red available at the moment is the one just above the black. You'd feel he'd have to play for it. You couldn't risk playing the cannon. Left himself low on this red. Will he be playing the cannon now?
25.
Trying to bring reds into play. No. Decided to play up for the
26.
blue, but that's much too strong. If he's going to try and bring reds into play, I think it's going to have to be the brown.
Fairly big target to aim at off two cushions. Perfect. But not a perfect split. They were a tight bunch of reds there.
30.
It's tough to get any action from them. He failed to get correctly on the blue, which would have been a far easier ball, and he's paid the price. It's a thin cut if there weren't any reds in the way of his cueing. It's too risky to take on bridging over the top of them.
Yeah, as you say, Steve, if he'd have got the position he was looking for on the blue, he could have gone into them with a lot
Neil
more
Robertson,
pace,
30.
playing the brown and coming off two cushions. And he'll be disappointed with that. Didn't find the baulk cushion. John Higgins has landed absolutely perfect on the blue. He will not refuse the cannon. Unbelievable. If that cue ball had been tight to the baulk cushion, that was not on.
Oh. Well, maybe it could have come out better in some ways,
6.
but it's still a chance to win the match.
Looking at this red, it's a delicate little shot. Just got to drop it in dead weight.
7.
And he has done. The black goes to the right corner, but not the left corner at the moment.
When John Higgins smells blood, he usually gets his man. Expect him to go close
14.
here. Neil Robertson's got to hope some type of cannon goes wrong, I think.
$15.
Not perfect. He'll have to run round, I think, off two. Well, he's trying to... Got to avoid a kiss on the pink if he's screwing back. Oh, he could do. He was okay.
22.
He's got 4 loose reds.
$23.
And this black will make the points all square.
He keeps himself a bit low on the red. He can just pot the red, loosen those 3 above it, and then it's such a realistic chance.
36 points still required, which equates to 5 more reds.
And
31.
now all reds are in the open. What a performance this would be from John Higgins. Largely written off before this event. Nobody was really shouting his name from the
37.
rooftops.
$38.
Went up for the blue, but he's judged it nicely. Nice angle. There's 3 reds available to the right corner.
So far, he hasn't put a foot wrong.
43.
Heart rate must be going up, but he's keeping composed.
$44.
Neil Robertson will be fearing the worst. Another inch perfect positional shot.
51.
2 reds, 2 blacks to get to snooker's required.
$52.
Even a red and a pink after this black will put Neil Robertson needing snookers. He's walking round. He must be inch perfect again.
59.
He just stopped in his tracks, but he's on it. Little stun play for the pink in the opposite corner. And the pink
60.
will put him 36 points in front with only 35 remaining. Puffing out his cheeks. That's why he's not perfect on this red. But he
66.
knows, pot the red, and I'm in the semi-final. Again. It's there.
67.
Well, what a performance once again from John Higgins. Neil Robertson. Sat there, nothing he can do. When Ronnie O'Sullivan was knocked out, Neil Robertson went a very short price favourite, 13-8 at one time to lift the
74.
crown, this Betfred World Championship crown.
76.
but nobody reckoned on John Higgins. They forgot, maybe, what a match
79.
player this man is. And to put the icing on the cake, a chance to finish with a century.
$83.
Beaten finalists the last 2 years. He was disappointed. He was even talking about
88.
maybe giving the game up because he wasn't enjoying it anymore. But he stuck at it.
94.
And you just know when you come to the Crucible Theatre, he's going to produce. What a performance from John Higgins! Neil Robertson shakes his hand, wishing him best of luck for the rest of the tournament. Neil Robertson, who played superb in the first 2 rounds. But you never discount that man. One of Scotland's greatest ever sportsmen. There he is, he's happy now. John Higgins is in the semi-final. He beats Neil Robertson by 13 frames to 10. Tremendous.
I was feeling the pressure tonight, but Neil obviously didn't play anywhere near the way he can play. He let me off the hook a few times, but it was really good to finish it there with 100. I was feeling a little bit nervous. I was trying to breathe because sometimes it's tough out there breathing because of the pressure on you. But no, it was good to finish.
It was like a street fight, pretty much every frame, you know. And a couple of times I threatened to pull away. It was very difficult, but you know, John, the champion he is, he never gives up. You know, I thought he did really well. I think on those kind of conditions, if I play anyone else in the draw, I can get the upper hand, you know, quite easily and probably. From a temperament point of view, get on the top. But it was a brutal match, and yeah, just like to wish John all the best in the semis.
Typically gracious there from Neil Robertson, and who on earth would have predicted these as the lineups for the last 4? John Higgins first made the semis 21 years ago, back for a 10th visit. Dave Gilbert will be stepping out for a maiden semi-final. Judd Trump returning to this stage for the first time in 4 years. Gary Wilson, another first-timer. Well, the table fitters are hard at work. They'll be there all night, and by dawn, we will be transformed to a one-table arena. Plenty of muscle on show there. Now, if you still haven't had enough of live action, follow us for Snooker Extra. It starts immediately after the end of this programme, and then we gather again later on this afternoon. BBC 2, 1 o'clock, John Higgins against Dave Gilbert. The new boys are in uncharted territory. Higgins and Trump are back where they belong. All 4 will believe this could be their year. The countdown to the crowning of a champion is on. Good night.
I think it's one of the most beautiful trophies that I've ever seen. Definitely that I've ever had my hands on. You dream about it as a kid, like to maybe one day lift it. When you do, it's like all your birthdays and dreams come true. And we were coming under a bridge, and I thought, Janie, the bridge was getting closer and closer. I thought, I just about pulled it down. I thought I was nearly going to knock it off. I was going to fall off the bus, like, you know.